Hello and welcome. Janet Beckers here with Romance Your Tribe Radio, and I'm so excited to welcome you to my beautiful guests today, Matt and Liz Rard. G'day, guys.
Hey.
Now, I ran into Matt just a few months ago at a conference up in Queensland, and we hadn't seen each other for years, and it was so lovely, and I just loved catching up in everything that these two guys have been doing. And you know, when you meet people in business and they're switched on, like they know their stuff, they're doing amazingly well and making their own path, like found a really unique way to be able to grow their business. But at the same time, like they're just really nice, down-to-earth people you just want to be mates with. So that's who I like to introduce you to through this podcast. It's not just people who are doing great stuff, but who are great people and care as well. So that's why I've invited Liz and Matt. So
hey, thank you. You're very welcome now.
So over to you guys. Can you share with people what is it that you do? Like, who do you help and how do you do it?
Okay, so what we do, and this is what you were just saying, something a bit unique and something that a lot of people have never really heard of, and that is we invest in websites. So so instead of, as well as buying property and shares, we actually also have another income stream through the websites that we buy. So that's something pretty unusual because people think, hang on, how do you make money out of websites? And what we actually love most is taking people, so the people we work with now, so not only do we invest in websites, we also have an absolute passion for taking people through that process and getting them earning money online through their own portfolio. And so we work with absolute beginners, we work with people who want a career change, we work with business owners who want to just add some extra dimensions to their business.
Lots of work-at-home mums, lots of people who work big hours and need to have, or people that just want to start setting up side income or retirees, people who are a bit worried about maybe not having enough money in their retirement, because the strategy, what we do is, it's not like buying real estate where you need hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can start out with less than $1,000 and buy little tiny websites and build them up and make lots of money off them and sell them. So there's kind of no risk. I should be always careful about saying there's no risk. There's always risk in business. But once you know what you're doing, it's relatively easy and very little cash flow. So
that's what we do.
Yeah, really exciting for us. Very good opportunities out there.
I love it. And the nice part about this is, and this is why I invited Matt and Liz to come along, because I love the idea of treating websites as an investment opportunity. And so looking at how, that's what we're going to look at today, like how do you make the investments and how do you find them and how do you make that work? And this could be your whole business model, or it could be like a lot of the people who I work with that they're building up their business and they are the expert.
Yeah,
they've got that part of their business, but it's really lovely to not have all your eggs in one basket. So I'm really excited to hear about
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a baked beans millionaire.
Yeah.
Let's have some.
What was that one?
You don't want to be a baked beans millionaire where you have to live off baked beans for 10 years before you finally make it. So
I love it.
No, I'm having cash flow the whole way.
We also work as angel investors, so we see
meet a lot of baked
bean millionaires. These young guys that start out and bootstrap everything, and it's not that kind of a thing.
That's brilliant, because you don't want to be putting that energy and waiting for time. So before we get stuck into the nitty gritty. Yep. Because, I was talking to Liz and Matt beforehand. I go, we want to know, how do you do this? And what's the difference? We don't want you just go, there's an opportunity. So before we get stuck into helping you, when you're watching this, on what you can be doing to see if this is something you want to do, I just want to dive a little bit into the people behind here, because there's two things that are quite unique, I think, about both of you, Liz and Matt. Number one is you're a couple in business.
Yeah.
And number one, you're self-confessed like technophobes, non-geeks. And when it comes to building a business around websites, people would assume that you would come from a background of geekdom. So would you mind sharing a little bit about how did you get into this and why this?
Oh, can I start this real quick? Well,
that's why we're working business.
We're actually from farms. We grew up in rural Australia. And so we've always wanted that freedom of, when you're on a farm, even though you do work hard at times and stuff like that, you've always got that amazing sense of freedom. So I think when Liz and I met each other, we met at uni and we're both studying zoology, which is
really
technical.
Yeah.
We're always very
animals.
We're always into animals and hands-on, and that's where we thought we'd go. But you don't make money in zoology, or back then you don't make money in farming either. And we got into business, luckily, and we actually bought from day one, we were hooked on business, and we just got good at it, manufacturing businesses. And we started, we started buying and selling, and we did exactly what we do now online. We bought a small rundown business, built it up, renovated it, and then automated it, learned how to sell. And we're both of us completely self-taught. Don't come from business background at all. So when we built that first one, that took a long time, and it's traditional bricks and mortar, which if anyone hears me speak publicly, I'm not a big fan of these days because it just takes so long. Literally, it can take it 10 to 20 years. Yeah. And when the kids came along, we realised, we can do this. Liz, being the impatient type, said, why are we doing this with bricks and mortar? Let's just do it online. It's quicker.
Too hard. Let's do this with websites. We don't have to show up every day.
Yeah, that was awesome. They're passive. Besides we buy, people don't realise we're not working on them 9 till 5. It's literally, you work on them a bit. If you're bored or you want to switch off, you go and do something else. So that to us,
as long as you pick the right ones. So that's the thing. Yeah. It's about the same as like if you're investing in real estate. If you're buying a house for an investment, you pick a house that has low maintenance, that is going to give you a good return on your investment. Maybe you can do a bit of renovation too, and then just hold and leave. And that's the sort of websites that we're looking for as well.
Well, that's a good segue. So let's move over into that now, because I love this whole analogy of, it's a real combination. You've got the finding a rundown business and building it up.
Yeah.
Which is, I love that was your background that you came into, and you just started doing it. The thing that I love about people that kind of like you guys that went, well, this is not making me happy. It's not helping me get my goals. I'm going to have a go at this.
Yeah.
Just dive in you never forget that. It makes it so much easier now that you're in the role where you're helping other people to do it.
Yeah.
The people who you're helping know, I'm not going to go in here where they're going to assume that I know everything, because
absolutely
you can't forget from having done exactly the same thing. There's no way you can ever judge anybody.
Oh, no. I remember the overwhelm, and they're like, And back when we started, there was still, they had to do code. You had to learn a bit of coding and things.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So that's a real strength. Yeah. So I love the idea of the rundown business and fixing that, and I also love the analogy to do with real estate as well. So if we think about in terms of real estate, like there's different ways if you're approaching real estate investing that you would go, you've got your cash flow properties, your capital, your capital ones. So for you, what's the different ways that you and your clients can, what can you do with a portfolio of websites? Before we get stuck into how to identify a good one, I always like to think about, what does it look like at the end?
Yeah. So basically the end goal, there's different strategies and different investors, because what's fascinating is that us and all our students, we end up in directions that we never would have thought we'd be in.
And niches.
And things. Oh, yeah. But basically what we do is we start out, and most people have a goal of, let's get 10 good websites making income each month in my portfolio.
Right.
Might starting out nice and small, because that's the cool thing. That's the difference there in real estate. At least we can buy a website for $200 or $300 to start.
Excellent.
And you can get in there and not be blowing the bank. You can just start out nice and small. And if you've got that, and then really the strategy is about what's your monetization and where's your traffic coming from. So those are the kind of two things that we're looking for in terms of strategy. So we're always looking for a website that's making money as automated as possible. So whether that's, I don't know if we're going to get into that in a minute, but talk about that now in terms of what we're looking for is those websites that can make money out of advertising.
Yeah.
Because all we've got to do is bring people to a website about something, passion. It might be about, I don't know.
Your favourite sport.
Or it might be about
hobby.
Oh, we had one, actually, cars. There's a good example. They're good.
That's competitive.
But
we teach people to go into really nice niches. Anything in our 3 favourite niches that we tell everyone they should look at is either anything to do with health, wealth or happiness.
Oh, I love it.
So even simple
things. That's a nice way to remember it.
Yeah, so even simple things like, lose weight is a classic, but that's very competitive. But things like, how to cure acne for
relationships
teenagers
and all sorts of things. Yeah. But so they either make money out of that advertising. So we have a tribe. So exactly like what you're creating, there's a tribe of people or a group of people who want information about a particular topic. Mm-hmm. And while they're there, there's advertising on the website that's paying for that.
And so when you say advertising, what sort of advertising? Are these Google ads?
Yes, some are AdSense. And then there's other advertising programs. Some of our sites have people pay or businesses pay for banner ads. So, when you see on a website big banner ads, and if it's in a really nice, tight niche, especially products,
very
we get manufacturers and distributors who want to get their brand in front of the people who are on our website. So we might have a website reviewing certain, maybe sports gear. So we've got websites that review sports gear, and the manufacturers of that sports gear want to give us sports gear and have it reviewed on the website and put a banner on there and pay for that.
And this is all in America.
Yeah, it's not
here. So the cool thing because our background too is we used to work with a lot of big corporates and high net worths on these big kind of internet deals. And one of the things we're seeing now is, especially in the last few years, is the big corporates now are just starting to spend masses and masses of money online.
They want to get in front of the tribes.
Yeah, they don't care. They'll pay anything. So for us, we've got little tiny websites that might have only cost $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever. And they think it's nothing to spend like $1,500 a month on a banner ad. We're at home in bed asleep and the money just turns up in your bank account. We do nothing on the website. For us, it's a win-win, for us.
So that's about opening your mind to opportunities.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I think a lot of people don't think that that's even a possibility. Why would a company pay that much to put a picture on a website? But
happens.
That's the thing. Learning about the way the world works changing. And the opportunities that are out there, there's just these amazing ways that you can generate income.
Excellent. So the main thing then is having a website that has got really good content that people are going to be finding.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's highly niched. And the way that you make the money is you're not actually having to provide a service. You're not having to create the products.
Definitely not.
People advertising. I love how Matt goes, no.
But remember, we've been in manufacturing and distribution and never again.
Never again.
Holding stock that is just such a hard thing to manage, and half your network tied up on shelves, and we just we love this idea that we can, like Matt said, it's sort of like making money out of electrons. It's just
excellent.
If we do have a niche that is a product based, we will monetize it by being affiliates. So we may be an Amazon affiliate. You've got basically access to every product
on the planet
in America to be able to sell it. And all you got to do is get the eyeballs. And that's
excellent. So we've got then the two main. So if we think about the big picture, we've got, if we're looking for a business that we want to, you've got a website, and we'll talk in a moment about how do you find them, but and what makes a good one. But if we're thinking about the end, we've got, you could have a portfolio of websites that are creating cash flow for you. And the way that cash flow is generated is either people land on that page and they click on a link and it goes to advertising, like it's something's being advertised, whether it's just through Google AdSense or through it's something you negotiate with actual interested parties, or it's an affiliate. So you're saying, look, this product here is the best one ever. Click here and go to it. So they're the main ways that you're making money, and they're the kind of things that there are so many options out there.
Unlimited.
So with making, the main way that you would make money through the actual buying the websites and then building up this portfolio. So if we go back to the real estate analogy, is either cash flow. So basically, you're getting them enough of them that they're making enough through advertising and affiliates that you've got that nice cash flow. Or what other ways? So like with other ways with real estate would be like quick flips or with...
That's the other important thing with the big corporates coming into the online space now. The valuations of good websites that are monetized that way, they're actually a hugely valuable asset. So even some people often don't realize, you see these real basic, the classic one is pet training websites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People look at them and think,
they're awful.
They're ugly, but you can sell them off for a couple of $100,000. And they might have only cost you. Yeah, so these are like, So
there's one we bought. Let's give you an example.
Yeah,
there's two websites. So we bought one for $30,000, one for $15,000. So it's $45,000 for these two websites, and they're already established
in the same niche.
Pretty ugly. Needed a bit of work. So when we say needed a bit of work, meaning they had old themes on them. They needed a tidy up. They could do better in Google rankings by adding some really nice, good, fresh content.
Good, fresh content.
And so we outsource all that. I actually don't think I even looked at those after the due diligence.
You don't even know the URL.
I don't even know the URL. So there you go. That's
how passive they were.
So we held on to those for a year, and it made $90,000. Those two websites.
Just from the cash flow.
Yeah, just from the cash flow. From AdSense, they were AdSense websites. And then after that, we actually got someone offer us to buy. And so we thought, and sometimes when we think, okay, yes, if someone makes the right offer, we'll sell. We don't usually sell. We like to hold on to our websites. But we sold that for $150,000. So that's $195,000 that we made in 1 year.
Oh, I love it.
So that's the kind of thing that we're doing. We're looking for these opportunities where, especially if there's a website that's kind of making money despite itself.
Yeah.
That's a really good opportunity, because if we can do a little bit of a tidy up and actually, we've had websites where when you look at it, all the traffic, all the people who are coming to the website, they're coming to a page where there's no offer. And so we literally buy the website, put an offer on it, and it'll double the profits.
Fantastic.
There's often quite simple things, especially for your marketing brain, and for I'm sure your listeners, they're good business people out there. They're in the field. So this is the sort of stuff that you'll pick up, those little opportunities. And the nice thing is it's not that difficult. Once you know what you're doing, it's not that difficult to actually take action on them.
Yeah.
So that's the nice thing.
Well, let's have a look now we've looked at what's possible at the end. So now let's go back to the beginning, because I want to come back to you like some of the core things that you can do. So I love this one that you've said about, there could be a lot of traffic going to one website because it's ranking well, say, in Google or wherever, but there's no offer on it.
Yeah.
That's a really obvious thing you can do.
Yeah, that's common. Yeah.
That's what we want. They're the goal.
So how do you find these websites? Because there are so many billions of websites out there.
Yeah.
And you can go, oh, yeah, that's awesome. I found one where all the traffic was going through to one page. How do you find them? Like, for people who are starting out now, where they're going, right, you know what? I'm just going to start off with my first one. I'm going to set a budget of, say, $500.
No, $200.
No, $300.
We've upped it.
$300. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was obviously thinking way too good.
We don't let go. When you're beginning, you can actually buy okay sites under $300. They're not going to be perfect, but they'll be fine. So we tell everyone, do not go over $300, because there's a bit to learn to this. Obviously, we're experts at buying and selling businesses, and there's a bit to learn. But if you're only ever risking $300, then you can learn quite safely. And the number one place where we go, so we have quite a few strategies where we find websites, and one of them we love direct approach, to sites that we've identified. That's a lot of work. The easy way is to go to the world's biggest platform for buying and selling websites. They're like a broker, I guess, and they're called flipper.com.
How do you spell Flipper? Because
FLIPPA.com.
Flipper with an A. That's brilliant.
And they're based here in
would you believe?
Australia.
They're actually,
have they? Oh, I should go and meet the people who run that. That sounds like that'd be. I'm sure you would.
So they come along to a lot of our events and speak to.
Oh, do they? That's brilliant.
Yeah,
they give us the inside gossip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's trending and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's an actual platform that's out there that you can go, look, I've got $300 and that's cheaper than most courses that you could go on learning anything to do with business.
Yeah.
So if you think of it, this, your first 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever it's going to take, without Liz and Matt holding your hand, is, that's your education experience.
Yeah.
And the cool thing on Flipper is it's a bit like eBay. Because it's a marketplace. What they rank sellers and they rank buyers. So you build up a reputation on there. So when you're starting out, it's in the interest of the sellers to do it, to be within reason legitimate. Now, there's always skeletons in the closet of any business you buy and any website. But the cool thing on Flipper is it is one of the more safe. There's other platforms out there, but Flipper we've found are quite safe to a degree, and they're very strict on their security. And so the good sellers on there, the easiest thing is just buy a website off a good seller.
Yeah, if you look at the seller ratings and pick a highly rated seller, especially for your first one, they'll help you. They all will help you transfer it and things like that. So there's a few little technical things that it's handy to know, handy to have an experienced person, especially on your first.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, the really good bargains are the ones where there's someone who's never sold a website before.
Yeah, that's what we want.
And then we can help them also get, because often they don't know how to do all this stuff as well. So experience, it's really nice. We've met amazing people on Flipper, and actually we've got a lot of, now one of the other ways we buy is we've met a lot of people who love that initial build and launch phase, but they don't like running them ongoing. And so we'll actually contact them and say, hey, you got any more you want to sell? And we know they build websites and they get it all launched and it's proven, it's making money, and they're just happy to sell it at that point, and we take it on to the next level.
That is fantastic, because that is so true. Like, I always think of like a gardening analogy that, there are people who are fantastic that go in and love planting.
Yeah.
And then there are other people that, once they've planted and it comes up, they'll get bored with it and want to move on to the next planting. Yeah. Whereas other people just love to come along and nurture it and harvest it and grow it. And the whole idea of making those big decisions around what's the best thing to plant is just, so
that's a great analogy. Yeah.
You want to find somebody that loves, planting the seed. That's brilliant. So,
and then our value too is because of our background of viewing businesses and online businesses as valuable assets. We're trying to pick the ones that down the track we can sell for a really big multiple. And because some of these big corporates are going to definitely, in the next 5 years, they're going to start buying up even what you would consider little tiny niche websites. They will definitely start buying them up and paying lots of money. We've already got several friends of ours that have sold out in the millions.
Yeah, actually, we've got one friend, and he just saw that he actually started the website, but you could have just as easily have bought it. He noticed in an industry that the main player didn't have a very good website, so he created a website that, and he was the supply for his website was that company, and the company noticed he was doing heaps more sales than they were, and they went, "Oh, hang on,
they bought him out.
Can I just buy you
for 7 figures?"
That is fantastic.
So you can get lucky. That's not every website. We're for the cash flow, but also we've always got our mind. We're creating an asset here. This thing's worth a lot of money down the track somewhere. Let's just build it up over the coming years. And this is what we teach now to all our clients. We say to them, watch out the corporates. This is a good thing. Yeah. There's lots of activity in that space.
And that's great. That goes back to your gardening analogy too. We always say to everyone, plant the seeds now. Get a few little websites out there, because it doesn't cost much and it doesn't, it's not really a lot to do, but then one day may be worth a lot. So it's worth doing something now.
So now let's look at, as a nice wrap up, because I really like to give people some really good action steps that they can do. So I'm thinking if one of their first action steps is to go to Flipper.
Yes.
So if they're going to go to Flipper, what would be the criteria that you would be looking for where you can go, oh, that's the one. So if you just had a budget of $300 and you're going to go and get your first one, apart from, starting off with, a seller that that they've got some reputation that'll help you. What would be, if you had a couple of sites that you were going, well, all right, they all fit the criteria, how am I going to choose which one? What would you use as a criteria for somebody starting out to pick out the one that's most likely to be really fantastic in their portfolio?
Okay.
For me, it would be the domain name and the niche. We're not into the main names as such, but it's always about the niche.
They do have value, though.
Certain niches we can do a lot more in because you can provide really good content, and as long as we can get traffic to it, that's why I look at the niche.
Yeah, so you look for domain names or websites that are based around a question or a problem.
Yeah, solving a problem.
So it's either solving a problem, so cureacne.com or
howtotrainyourdog.com.
Yeah. Something that answers a question and quite not just lose weight, which is a bit big, but maybe something around a more specific niche, maybe losing weight after giving birth or something like that. That's a quite nice specific topic that people really want that information about. And then there's a lot of advertisers that are really keen to get in front of those people.
So that's a benefit of our knowledge, I guess. Obviously, we've been doing this for a long, 10 years now. So we can look at any niche and go, I know there's advertisers in that. But that's the journey that people have got to go on and learn, because that's worth money in the back of us. And so what Liz just said is really important. One of the other things then we do is we'll go and look up in certain affiliate offers and different places online. We'll go and look, is there an affiliate offer in this niche? And if there is, then we're more likely to buy the site. Even on little $300 websites, you can find amazing clients.
So they're good ones. So we look, first of all, the domain name's important, especially if it's obvious the niche just from that domain name.
That's always good.
And then the next one is look how you can monetize it. So, going and having a look for affiliate offers. And so where would you go and look for those affiliate offers?
When you're very first starting out, the best place actually, because a lot of affiliate networks have, you need a certain amount of traffic, like a bigger website in order to join them. So the ones that will let you in initially, there's cj.com. You can have only a small website and join cj.com. Clickbank.com if you want to sell information products.
Which is always good.
That works well too. Obviously AdSense, but you need to make sure the website adheres to AdSense terms and conditions before you apply for your AdSense. So make sure, just look up AdSense terms and conditions before you make sure the website you buy, or you could ask the seller, does this meet the AdSense terms and conditions?
Excellent. Yeah, put it over to them. Yep.
And then the biggest one these days is Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon.
Good products. So even if you have a dog training, just thing outside the square, if you see a good dog training website, so selling tips on dog training,
or it's just talking about tips,
or talking about dog training, we know straight away, well, there's some really cool products on Amazon that sell really well in that sort of a niche, like certain collars or certain.
So you might review a collar.
In the
dog training website, you might review one of the collars that's on Amazon.
Yeah.
And
all the feeds and things. So Amazon Lens actually makes things a lot easier for our clients these days. Even on little tiny sites, you can normally segue in articles that review products that are sold on Amazon.
And did you know how the Amazon program works? It actually, when someone clicks through on the link, so say they see your dog collar review, they think, that's interesting, I'll go and check that out. What it does is it cookies them, so it follows them. It says, this person's come from Matt and Liz. Yeah. And for anything they buy for the next 24 hours, we get a commission on.
Oh, it doesn't have to actually be that dog collar. It can be anything.
Because they're amazing selling. Amazon's the ultimate selling machine.
They do all of it for you. So remember, we got to leverage the big guys. Don't be afraid of them. Leverage them. My favourite story on that is we've got a student, and she had a website about, I think it was essential oils or something like that, something quite sort of calming and gentle. And someone clicked through for an essential oil and bought a blower kit for a Toyota Corolla. Like a $1,000 sale.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic.
That
is brilliant. This has been, I know that we have only just touch the tip of the iceberg here. I mean, this is obviously, you guys immerse yourself in this. You have clients that you're helping with this all the time. Yeah. So we'll talk in a minute about how people can find out more. But for everybody that's watching or listening or reading or however it is that you're choosing to join us, my challenge to you is take action this week. Even if this is something that you're going, I may or may not end up going down this track, my challenge to you is go over to Flipper, set yourself a budget of $300, even if it's just starting out being a pretendy budget, like when you're first learning to trade or whatever. So you've got your $300, go there following this criteria of, is it a good niche? Is there a domain? Can I see where there is, affiliate products, whether they're information or whether there's something on Amazon that I can actually then see how I can monetize this further. Go and have a look and see what you can find, because then, the next thing, and that's what we'll, I know when people come over and they start learning a bit more from you, and you also find that from everything I'm sharing, is then the big focus is, right, how am I going to get the traffic? How am I going to keep? Yeah. That's the whole trail of everything, is getting that traffic. Yeah. So that's my challenge. And if you take up this offer, because I'm going to do that too. That's my challenge to myself as well. And I will keep you updated on what I've been finding, because I just think this is a fun thing to do. Is, when you've taken action, come back, share it, drop an email or leave a comment down below. And one of the best things that you can do is for Liz and Matt is to come back to them as well and just let them know that you took action from today, because that is incredibly rewarding. It is. Yeah. It is. It's one of the most rewarding things to actually hear that, what, I made a difference because people listen and took action. So that's for everybody out there. Go on, do it. Take some action.
And then you can have some fun. What you can do too is to get, because it is fun to see what the possibilities are as well. So set the, I recommend when you do your search on Flipper, set the dollars that it makes per month to somewhere between $1 and $50. So then you'll get the sites that are the lower end, like the smaller websites.
Right.
Or if they've got, maybe a couple of hundred people a month traffic, just a little bit of traffic, a little bit of visitors. So that means you'll get the cheaper ones. The other thing you can do though is put in a monthly profit of $1,000 or more. And then you can see what sort of websites are actually making money out there. And you'll be absolutely amazed at what makes money.
That's a brilliant tip, Liz. Not only look for the one that you're going to get now, go and have a look for what is actually a website that's making the good money, and look at that and take it. Love it. That's really good. All right, so for people now to find out more, so what would be the next steps? How can we
what we can do, so if they go over to ebusinessinstitute.com.au, that's our training organisation, and so you can have a look. And actually, if you join the updates, you can find out more but have a look over there and see what's going on. And then we're going to run a special webinar, aren't we?
We did. I tell you what, so I'll give you a link I'll just tell you the name of the webinar link, because I know it'll be a long one, so I'll just make one that will redirect. So if you go to romanceyourtribe.com / buy and sell. I think that would be a good one. So romanceyourtribe.com / buy and sell.
Yep. And we'd love to, if for those of you who are really interested in actually taking that next step, we don't do this often, and so we would love to, though, for your guys who would like to take that next step, we'll run a webinar and we'll actually go into a lot more of the detail. So what you're looking for and the strategy, and how to buy smart, how to negotiate, how to, what you're looking for, how to renovate, the strategies of renovation.
And also our favourite topic, how to value websites. Because most people have no idea. So we can cover that on that webinar for your audience if they want to come, anyone that wants to get detail. Yeah. And like we said,
even for your own business. Your website has massive value. So there might be value sitting in your own websites that you're not realising.
So if you're thinking, if any of your clients think maybe they're selling their websites down the track,
or the business,
they should come along on this webinar as well, so they know how to set it up properly for the best sale.
Yeah.
And the other strategy actually is if any of your clients, talking of magic traffic, if any of your clients are looking for ways of driving more traffic into their website businesses, well, one of the strategies that maybe people haven't thought of, and this is what Liz and I do all the time, is buy websites that already have the traffic.
Yeah.
So that's also, so that might be, it's in this day and age, sometimes it's easier to buy a website than Flipper. When you know what you're doing, buy a website. Say you're a coach or something like that, and you want traffic. Well, it takes a long time to SEO a website. So you can just go and buy instant traffic.
Traffic, by traffic we mean people, like visitors.
Yeah. So you can buy a website that's in close to your niche, and then you link through to your website. That is brilliant. That's really, really clever, and that can be a really nice way for people to start off, because you can kind of, getting wins in each one. That's brilliant. Well, I will. Because we're just recording this a little bit ahead of time, so we haven't worked out all of the details of dates and all those sorts of things. So what I will do is, I'll, after we've got the podcast here on the page here, we will put the link for you to be able to go and sign up for the webinar so you can get more info, and then I'll send it all out to everybody as well. So, and I'll be there too, because that's going to be really, really interesting. Thank you so much. It's good. So thank you so much for today, and thank you everybody who's listening. I'm pretty excited about this. I love the idea of leveraging all of the knowledge that you've been using to learn about how to build and market your own business, and being able to use that knowledge on little side projects that don't use up a lot of your time. So I love that idea. That's really, really good. So I'm going to have some fun with that. And thank you so much for today, Liz.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. It was wonderful to be here. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody. And thank you.
Bye.